Nick Saban. Oh, that's the Saint Nick I'm talking about. Well, Saint Nick has been more like Ain't Nick lately. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Alabama football as they are entering must-win territory as their college football playoff hopes are currently not that high. Even though Alabama is currently 2-1 this season, their last two games have been poorly performed by Alabama as they lost to Texas at home by multiple scores, as well as only beating USF by 14 points. Again, Nick Saban will make a switch at quarterback as he is now relying on Jalen Milroe to be a serviceable quarterback in college football. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Can Nick Saban get Alabama back to the college football playoff this season? Honestly, my answer to that question is no. He's not going to be able to get Alabama back to the college football playoff this season, specifically because of the quarterback situation. I don't care who's the coach for their current quarterback situation. No head coach is going to be able to elevate the current quarterback situation that Alabama has. Alabama didn't even know if Jalen Milroe was even good enough to even be the quarterback one moving forward. There's a reason why they benched him last game. The only reason why they're going back to Jalen Milroe now is because their backup quarterbacks are even worse. I mean, you look at Buckner. I mean, I know you're a half Asian quarterback, so I want to give you a little bit of props for that, but you was terrible when you played on the football field. He is one of the worst college quarterbacks that I have ever seen play at a Power 5 school. This dude has no arm strength whatsoever. He's not even accurate with the football whatsoever as well. When you look at Buckner's game, you're wondering how the heck he even got another chance to even be a starter in college football, considering how horrible he played for Notre Dame last season. And the fact of the matter is, Buckner could not play at a high level. That's why he got himself benched after one half against USF. If he couldn't even perform well against USF, what kind of team would he have been able to perform well against? Because that wasn't even an SEC team. That wasn't even a Power 5 team. That was a Group of 5 team that Buckner was going up against. And now Alabama has to go up against actual Power 5 schools. Now they got to actually go up against SEC competition. Now, I'm not saying that Alabama can't beat anybody in the SEC. That couldn't be further from the truth. I still think Alabama is a good football team. They can still run the football really well. They can still play really good defense. But the dominant Bama that I knew growing up as a kid, it's over. It's been over, it is over, and it will be over. The fact of the matter is, Alabama is just simply not that good of a program anymore. They're not that great. They're not on this level where, oh my God, if we play Bama, let's just try not to lose by multiple scores. When you play against Bama nowadays, you're thinking, okay, if we just execute a good game plan, if we do what we're supposed to do in practice during the week, the results are going to take care of themselves and they're going to beat Bama. That's the fact of the matter. Ask Texas how hard it was to beat Bama. They were able to run off the last 7 minutes of the clock against Alabama by calling run plays every single play in that final drive, and they were able to run off the clock. And Alabama's strength is supposed to be defense, but their defense got torched by Texas's run offense. Now, Texas is obviously a pretty good run team, but they're an even better passing team, and Quinn Ewers gassed them up big time. Quinn Ewers looked like a star in the making. And look, I'm not saying that Quinn Ewers can't play, because that couldn't be further from the truth. I think Quinn Ewers is going to be a future superstar in the National Football League, but the fact of the matter is, Alabama had no answers on how to slow down Quinn Ewers whatsoever, and Jalen Milroe honestly looked outmatched against those guys. And let me also talk about Alabama's third-string quarterback, Simpson. That dude also couldn't play at a high level as well. Now, granted, was he better than Buckner? Yes, he was better than him. That being said, that doesn't necessarily mean much. It's not like Simpson played good football either. If Simpson has to go up against SEC defenses right now, this dude is going to be eaten alive. He couldn't even really do much against USF's defense whatsoever. I mean, this is South Florida that we're talking about. This ain't like this is the University of Florida that Bama is going up against. This is South Florida. Okay, no disrespect to South Florida, but there should never be any reason for South Florida to be able to keep pace with Bama. And yes, I understand that Bama won by 2 scores, but they honestly only won by 14 points because Bama scored a late touchdown with less than 3 minutes left to go. It was a 7-point game late in the fourth quarter. Had Bama not scored on that drive, USF could have gotten that ball back and they could have possibly tied the game up. Now, I'm just kidding about that because USF is not a good football team whatsoever. Alabama did not play good, and they honestly look very sluggish. They do not look a team that belongs in the college football playoff. And forget about the college football playoff. We're talking playoffs. I just hope that Alabama can even get into the conversation for being one of the top SEC teams in all of football. And the sad part for Bama is the SEC is very weak right now. This conference is one of the weakest conferences that I've seen in a very long time. And the SEC is supposed to be the best conference in all of college football. But this season, that has been far from the case. The SEC has been very mediocre mediocre. And even then, Bama has still failed to take advantage of that. If the conference is mediocre and Bama still can't rise out of it, what's going to happen when they play against stronger competition? What's going to happen if they do get out of the SEC? What's going to happen when they have to play a really good team in the Pac-12? What's going to happen when they have to play a really good team in the Big 10, in the Big 12? What's going to happen if they play against Texas again? That means that Alabama is really not that good anymore. There's a reason why they've been dropping in the power rankings even after their wins. The fact of the matter is, Alabama just looks like they're a completely different team. And I see that Nick Saban is looking on the sidelines thinking, man, can we please return back to our old days? Can we please return back to our dominant ways where we could just dominate every single team? Nick Saban, I can tell that the life is getting sucked out of his eyes. Look, he's the GOAT coach and he's the best college coach in college football history, but Nick Saban is clearly past his prime. I mean, you could look at Nick Saban's eyes and he is just literally begging to stay relevant in college football because of the fact that Alabama is quickly becoming a second-rate college football program. And you're looking at the fact that Georgia is currently the standard of the SEC. Obviously, Georgia, they're going to go ahead win the SEC this year. It's not even a question to me. Georgia. You can fill in all four of those playoff slots for Georgia because Georgia's the best team in college football. It's not even close. Yeah, I know that they only won by 10 against South Carolina, but South Carolina has looked like they're going to be a pretty good team this year. Yeah, they struggled against UNC, but other than that, they've tended to look pretty good this year. So I want to give South Carolina some props for that, for being able to keep pace against Georgia. But the point is, Georgia is just simply too dominant for everybody else in college football. And then you look at some of the other college football playoff teams that could be in the conversation. You're looking at Texas as one of the teams that could definitely make the college football playoff. I picked Texas before the season started in terms of picking them to go to the college football playoff and winning the Big 12. So far, they have justified my faith in them. And then I had Ohio State because of Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to have an incredible year. Kyle McCord, he'll get better as the year goes on. Then there's Michigan, a team that I also got in the college football playoff as well, mainly because their schedule isn't even hard at all. I could see Michigan going ahead and winning every single game this year in the Big 10 or even on their schedule, point blank. Doesn't matter who the coach is. They're going to go ahead, win the Big 10. They're going to make the college football playoff as well. That's only four teams that I gave you right there. And then you look at Bama, I'm thinking, are they even a top two team in the SEC? Because obviously Georgia is one of the top two teams in there. And then the other team is LSU. I think LSU is better than Bama. Yeah, LSU has had its own struggles, but Brian Kelly, it seems like he's gotten the ship turned around at LSU, and Jane Daniels is one of the top quarterbacks in the country. That means that LSU is going to be a better team than Bama. I also could see Bama losing to Tennessee as well. There might even be an upset brewing on some other team on the schedule because A&M does play Bama pretty tough, even though A&M is not a good football team. It just seems like every year Bama seems to struggle to blow out A&M, and that the best coaching job that Jimbo Fisher ever has done at Texas A&M is keeping pace with Nick Saban at Alabama. The fact of the matter is, Alabama football is just not what it was when I was growing up. Alabama is now a good 9-win, 10-win type of team, but they're not going to be the team that you're going to say, wow, this team is going to win the national championship. This is a team that's going to make the college football playoff. Now, as far as Saturday's game against Ole Miss, I think they're going to beat Ole Miss. I think that they are better than them because I think Bama is still a good football team. I mean, look, Alabama's going to win by the score of 27-20. I think the game's going to be close throughout, but I think Jalen Milroe, he's going to make enough plays in this ball game in order to get Alabama the lead while they get to play great defense. I mean, obviously, if you're Ole Miss, you want Jackson Dart to play really well. He's the heart and soul of the offense, but I think Bama's defense is going to be able to contain Jackson Dart quite a bit. I mean, look, you look at Bama's run game, they got Roydell Williams and Chase McClellan. Those guys are the heavy lifters for Bama's offense. They're going to play pretty well against Ole Miss. Then defensively, they just got to play their game that we know that they are capable of playing. If they can slow down Jackson Dart, then this is going to be a favorable matchup for Alabama, which means that they're going to go ahead and win that ball game, which is going to keep them in the conversation for the college football playoff. Because if they lose this game to Ole Miss, they're probably not making the college football playoff this year because a two-loss team rarely gets into the college football playoff, and I don't see Alabama being the exception to the rule. And considering the fact that Alabama still has some tough games left on their schedule, I don't see them being able to make a run for the college football playoff if they even lose this game to Ole Miss. But they're not going to lose to Ole Miss. They're going to go ahead and execute their game plan, and they're going to win this game. They're going to win this game because of the fact that they're going to be more physical than Ole Miss, because of the fact that Jalen Milroe will be better than Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson, because of the fact that Alabama's defense is really good, and also because of the fact that Lane Kiffin is not really a good coach whatsoever. There's a reason why Lane Kiffin has never really been a great coach anywhere where he's been. He's been an alright coach at the college level, but it's not exactly like Lane Kiffin is this great coach out there. I think Nick Saban still has the goods to out-coach Lane Kiffin in this ball game. That's going to be the difference. That's why I got Bama winning by the score of 27-20, as they're going to go ahead and move to 3-1 on the season. So that is why Nick Saban will not be able to get Alabama back to the college football playoff this season, as they have a major weakness at the quarterback position. That being said, though, they'll still win against Ole Miss by the score of 27-20. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.